Hi everyone, it's Mora Viva and Shoko. Today I'm going to be reading to you a story called Brothers by Florence B. Friedman. This week we celebrate the Yom Tov of Shavuot. In the time of the Beit HaMikdash, Jews from all over the world would gather fruits and grains from the farmers and bring it to the Beit HaMikdash on Shavuot. This story took place a long time ago. It's about two brothers who grew up on a farm. Enjoy the story. Brothers. Long ago, in the land of Israel, lived a farmer named Seth. Seth had two sons, Dan and Joel. Every spring and every fall, Seth plowed the earth. From the time they were little boys, Dan and Joel followed him, planting the seeds. Then they watched the wheat grow from tiny plants to tall stalks. When the wheat grew tall, Dan and Joel could hide in it. It was taller than they were. When the wheat was ripe, Seth took his sickle and cut it down. The boys helped him tie it in bundles and loaded it onto their donkey. Then they rode to the threshing floor and piled the wheat high. Dan and Joel grew and grew until they were taller than the plow, taller than the wheat, taller than their father. When Seth grew old, he called his sons to him. "You are good men and good farmers. You are good sons to me and to your mother. I am too old to plow and plant and stack and thresh the wheat. I will soon die. I will divide my land in half. You, Dan, will get one part, and you, Joel, the other. I know that you will always be friends and help each other." After their father died, Dan and Joel divided the land. Each built a house. Joel married a lovely woman named Miriam. Dan did not marry. He lived alone. Time passed. Miriam and Joel had 3 sons. Joel added rooms to his house. His sons helped their father, just as Dan and Joel had helped their father. Dan did not marry. He lived alone in his little house. He went to visit Joel and his family whenever he could. When Joel's boys were 12 and 10 and 3 years old, there came a bad year. The rains did not fall. The wheat dried up. There were not many bundles of wheat on the threshing floor. One night, Joel could not sleep. "What is the matter?" asked Miriam. "I'm thinking about my brother. He is all alone. You and I have sons to take care of us when we are old. Dan has nobody, yet we have the same amount of land and same amount of wheat. It isn't fair." "What will you do about it?" asked Miriam. "I know," answered Joel. "I will take some of my wheat to my brother." It was almost midnight. Joel dressed quickly and left the house. He shook his sleepy donkey. "Wake up! We have work to do," he said. In the quiet of the dark night, he took wheat to his brother's threshing floor and silently went home. On the same night, Dan could not sleep. He was thinking about his brother. "My brother Joel has a wife and 3 children. He has 5 people to feed, and I have only myself. Yet he has the same amount of land. It isn't fair," he thought. Quietly, he got out of bed, loaded his donkey with wheat, and took it to his brother's threshing floor. In the morning, Joel looked at his wheat. He rubbed his eyes. "Can it be? There is just as much wheat here today as there was yesterday. I must take more to Dan tonight." In the morning, Dan too looked at his wheat. He rubbed his eyes. "I did not take my brother as much wheat as I meant to," he thought. That night again, Joel took wheat to Dan, and Dan took wheat to Joel. In the morning, each had as much wheat as he had had the day before. Joel told his family what had happened. "Tonight we will help you," said Miriam and the boys. That night Joel awakened Miriam and the boys. "It is time," he said. They loaded the donkey, and Joel and Miriam and the boys carried as much wheat as they could. That night Dan started out with his load of wheat at the same time as Joel. They met halfway at the place where the farms joined. Without saying a word, they dropped their bundles of wheat and hugged each other. Then they heard a soft voice that came from everywhere and nowhere singing, "How good it is for brothers to live together in friendship." Hundreds of years passed. A city grew where Seth's farm had been, in the city of Jerusalem. And King Solomon built the holy temple on the spot where the brothers had met and hugged each other. When the temple was finished, a soft, low voice was heard singing, "How good it is for brothers to live together in friendship." The song came from nowhere and everywhere. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story and learned the nice lesson of how we should treat each other with kindness and respect and love your fellow Jew just like yourself. I hope you all have a beautiful Shavuot. From Moraviva and Shoko. Bye!